Welcome back to the Lost Constellations. I'm John Barnetine, Director of Public Policy at IDA. Throughout International Dark Sky Week 2020, we're exploring constellations that once appeared on star charts, but that were discarded in the early 20th century in a process that gave us the night sky recognized by modern astronomers. Today's lost constellation is actually a two-for-one, a bird in the Northern Hemisphere nighttime sky that has two different identities. As we saw in yesterday's presentation, animals account for nearly half of the constellations in our modern night sky. The figure of Noctua, the night owl, is different from most others in that it started out as a different but related animal. A group of stars between the classical constellations Hydra, the sea serpent, and Libra, the scales, was left unformed. That is, it was not accounted for traditionally by either figure. In 1776, the French astronomer Pierre-Charles Le Monnier formed a constellation from the stars between Libra and Hydra, representing, quote, a bird of the Indies and the Philippines, unquote, that he believed already extinct by his time. The bird was evidently a blue rock thrush, Monticola solitarius, of the family Turdidae, and Le Monnier used the opportunity to commemorate the voyage of Alexandre Guy Pingret to the Indian Ocean island of Rodriguez, where such birds were once common, to observe the transit of Venus across the face of the sun in 1761. It was therefore recorded first on star charts as Turdus solitarius, the solitary thrush. The same stars had a second life as a different bird, Noctua, the night owl. The English polymath Thomas Young first remade the stars into the figure mockingbird on a star chart published in 1807. But it was the Scottish writer Alexander Jameson's 1822 Celestial Atlas that made the transformation complete. He solved a problem with Le Monnier's figure that required borrowing the star Brachium, also known as Sigma Librae, from the well-known constellation Libra. Jameson turned the bird around, making the owl face west rather than east. Although it's unclear what kind of owl Jameson had in mind for his constellation, its depiction in his atlas most resembles the long-eared owl, Osio otis, shown here. Owls are nocturnal birds of prey whose feathers have shapes adapted for silent flight, giving them the ultimate element of surprise for efficient hunting. Studies have shown that artificial light at night changes owls' hunting strategies, impacting their ability to catch the prey on which they depend for survival. When the modern constellation boundaries were set in 1930, the stars formerly comprising Noctua were distributed among Libra, Virgo, and Hydra. Quote, the loss of this little asterism might seem unfortunate to astronomers, wrote Robert Burnham Jr. in 1977, since no other creature so appropriately honored their profession, unquote. To find Noctua in tonight's sky, first locate the bright blue-white star Spica, the brightest star in the constellation Virgo. From there, look a few degrees to the east for the kite-shaped group of four bright stars marking the constellation Libra, the scales. The southernmost of these stars, Brachium, is just east of Noctua. A short distance to the west, the star Pi Hydrae marks the end of Hydra's tail. The body of Noctua spans the gap between Brachium and Pi Hydrae, continuing northwest back in the direction of Spica. Alternately, you can see the same stars in the figure of Turdus solitarius. Join me again tomorrow when we'll explore the first of two lost constellations in this series that recognizes the tools of astronomers used to measure the night sky and also lends its name to a January meteor shower.